Hey y'all, welcome back. Before we get into the video this evening, I wanted to take a minute to talk about the Black Lives Matter movement. I made a rather long, dry, historical, semi-historical video about my feelings and about my stance on the Black Lives Matter movement. I'm going to put the link in the description if you'd like to take a look at it, but I'm going to try to summarize a little bit right here. I am very excited about this movement. It touches me and reaches me on a lot of different levels personally, and I am very happy to see that we are finally giving voice to the voiceless, that we are finally giving meaning to and definition to a country that basically left out defining the humanity of Black people in this country after the Civil War. And I'm glad that this movement is finally moving forward. A lot of the things that King fought for and wanted and understood existed, and that is systemic racism. It's somewhat built into our laws, and otherwise it's trained into the nature of our leaders and our congresspeople. So I want to see systemic racism. I want to see racism gone. There is literally no fucking reason for it at all. It's a defect in your brain, and you can unlearn it as easy as you learned it. There's no reason for anybody to be discriminatory or prejudiced against somebody just based on the color of their skin, based on what they think they do in their bedroom. Like all of the marginalized groups that have had human rights taken from them. That is an atrocious thing. That is just unbelievable that we're still fighting this fight in 2020. But here we are. And this is our chance. We have the technology now. News gets out faster. If you don't believe me, you can ask, LaFace Skincare, how fast news will get around. We have a chance to really run racism into the ground where it belongs, never to be resurrected. So I want to urge you to support the groups that are moving the efforts forward. And I want to encourage you to get out and vote, most of all. And I'm letting you know right now that I will be hassling you about voting in every video that I post. In the last election, 59% of eligible white voters did not vote, 69% of eligible Black voters did not vote, and 39% of other races eligible voters did not vote. You can watch my long-winded video at the link that's in the description if you want to. It lends a little bit of history and context to the struggle that we find ourselves in now. But it's also really, really dry. So if you're not really into history or whatever, and you're just like, yeah, I kind of know about that, well, there it is. My channel will be moving forward with some challenge videos, some makeup videos, some food videos like I've been doing, and just having a lot of fun. But at the same time, I want to keep this momentum moving. So I will be hassling you to vote. I will be hassling you to support. Personally, I support the NAACP. My family supports the NAACP. I have several family members that serve in the local chapter here. And we are also, all of us in the household are registered to vote. We've made sure that all of our registrations are up to date and that we have our voter registration cards. If you don't have that right now, you need to go get it. You need to contact your county or your local voter registration office. I'm not sure, it doesn't work the same everywhere, but get in touch with them. Get that card if you need it for voting, or make sure that if you need ID for voting or whatever, that you have it and that you have arrangements and that you are ready to go and vote. Don't just get off work on November 3rd and go, oh, surely they won't reelect Trump again. We cannot take the chance. Get out there and vote. As I said, my channel is going to be returning to just watching me fail at multiple things like makeup and cooking, and hopefully having a good time doing that. Let's keep the momentum moving forward, because until Black Lives Matter, none of the rest of our lives mean shit. Thanks very much, guys.
But they say there's a new wind blowing down by the mighty Mississippi, dressed in blue, shaking loose these chains that bind me.
Today we're going to do something really fun. It's collab with my niece, who I love so much. Mascaras and Mixers. You can find her on YouTube at Mascaras and Mixers. You can find her on Instagram at Mascaras and Mixers. And I think same on Facebook. So I just love her to death. And she is the one that kind of introduced me to makeup last year, and kind of got me into learning a lot and trying to do makeup, because I'm like, I am so freaking old. I don't want to look old, and I don't want to, I'm aging. I don't want to look old. What can I do? She's like, makeup. I'm like, makeup, of course. I'm really crappy at that. So, but she took me to Ulta, and I lost my mind, and I'm forever grateful, because I've just learned so much. I learned so much. But I just love her. She's wonderful. She's been out there on the front lines of coronavirus, and she's just a remarkable person, just a remarkable human being. And I just can't say enough about her. And I guess so. She sent me this thing on YouTube. Harris and Spooky Lips and Fat Hips, and they are besties, of course. And if you know them, and they did a collab where they were like, based on the Too Faced KVD palette that came out, I guess it's been 3-4 years, Better Together. So where Too Faced did a side and KVD did a side, and I guess they came together with a magnet. So these two said, well, if we did a Better Together collab, what would that look like? And Mascaras and Mixers said to me, do you want to do something like that? And I thought, oh, it'd be fantastic. I don't have a lot of singles, but what we decided to do was just pick a piece out of a, pick a pan out of a palette or whatever, and put together what we would do if we were going to do Better Together. So this is what my palette's going to look like. Let's get into it. The first color that I would choose for my palette would be from JD Glow, from their Galaxy Collection shadow, and it's called Watermark, and this is what it looks like. It is no less than spectacular. It is not necessarily a duochrome. It's like a multi-chrome. So there's like a blue. It's initially a blue, but there's a green, slight green and slight purple shift in there. It is absolutely gorgeous. JD Glow is one of my favorite companies that I discovered very early on. They are the ones that kind of introduced me to loose powders. So I tried some of their loose powders initially. I've used them for so much. I've used them for eye toppers. I've used them for lip toppers. I've used them for nails. I do have a video on how you do that. So I just love them as a company. So my very first choice in my palette would be this particular shade, which is Watermark from their Galaxy collection. The second thing I would choose is these are hard to get right now. This is from Canada, and it is the stencil. It is the stencil shade, and it is an amazing purple. It's like a purple multi-chrome pink shift. It's definitely one of the go-to singles that I use a lot. The third shade that I liked is from Coastal Scents, and I put together a palette from one of my niece's boxes from Coastal Scents. We both very much love the beach. The picture behind me is the inlet at Ocean City, Maryland. So if you're from OCMD, hit me up. It's one of our favorite places to go every year. So the next one that I would pick would be this Island Coral, and this is a matte from Coastal Scents. The palette that I put together, a loose palette for her of colors from Coastal Scents, and really liked it so much that I went ahead and duplicated the palette for myself as well. So this would definitely be the third color in my palette. The next color that I would pick out of a palette would be from the I Heart Revolution Ocean's Treasure pigment palette. Looks like this. The color that I would pick out of that one would be the ocean color. Yet another matte. It is it's like a light blue, sort of candy blue. So it's nice if you're doing those little cotton candy things, but it's also great to shade in for a beautiful ocean look. Next one would be from Woma's Black Magic Carnival palette, and it would be this hot pink color, Rio, right here, and that is just amazing. It's highly pigmented, but it also builds from there, which is amazing. Blends extremely well. Also matches this lip shade, which is Trinidad, also from Woma's Black Magic Carnival lipstick line. So yeah, those two things just go together. So the next color, and I have loved using this palette ever since I got it. It's the Jackie Aina palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. And the color that I love from it so much is Wigglies. And that is this color right here. It's a beautiful copper color. It's almost hard to describe because it is not a duochrome. It's like a deep copper red color. So anytime that I've ever worn it, I've done it with golds, I've done it with browns. Anytime that I've ever worn it, people are like, oh, that's pretty. Oh, what color is that? So yeah, Wigglies out of the Jackie Aina palette. The next color that I would not be able to make a palette without would be Tree Dome from the SpongeBob palette from Hip Dog. This is Tree Dome. It is a fantastic shade for just under your brow. It pops a lot, but it's not like in your face. It doesn't overpower everything else on your eyes. It's great for inner corner. It's great for under the brow. It's even great as like a middle shimmer if you're just doing like a basic sort of copper eye or neutral eye. It's very nice just as a simple shade. The next color, we decided we were going to do a 12 color palette. So the next color that I would bring would be Curacao Nights, and that is from the Nomad Antilles palette. Carousel Knights is this beautiful matte purple here, and it's intense. It's very intense, but it just gives me this lovely warm kind of summer nights feeling. Kind of like that moment after you've been on the beach all day, you've gone and you've had dinner, and now you're just sort of chilling with a beach campfire, or you're chilling out at a beachside bar with a drink and just kind of recapping your day with your friends or your family and enjoying the sound of the ocean. Like, that is the feeling that I get from Carousel Nights. And Curacao, of course, you know, is a liqueur. Some people call it triple sec. It's got a little orange flavor to it. Pick yourself up some, put it in your next orange crush. Really good. Just like that color. Next color I would choose actually does not appear to have a name. Please correct me if I'm wrong on that. And the color itself comes from the Zulu Palette by Juvia's Place. And since it does not, it is this beautiful green shimmer tone right here. What I love about Juvia's Place anyways is that all of their shadows are incredibly pigmented and their price point is amazing. I do not know how they create these amazing palettes at the price point that they do. So since it does not appear to have a name in the palette and does not appear to have a name on the back of the palette, we will call this color the sole reason that I bought this palette in the first place. I saw the green. It was I was at Ulta. I saw the green in this palette and said, I have to have it. So that green has to be in there. All right. And now we come to a brand that, if you've been here long enough, you know that I love. And I also love this color because it comes from a palette that holds a really special memory for me, where my niece is concerned. And that would be the Strawberry Dreams palette. And the color would be the Blue Diamond. And that is this amazing duochrome white blue shift piece right here, or blue. But the reason that I want to tell you the story about the reason that this palette means so much to me. So he dropped Strawberry Dreams. I immediately had to have it. And I remember saying to her, you know, oh, well, I really like the Strawberry Dreams palette. I really like his stuff. Like, he's got this really good quality stuff. So by the time Moonspell rolled around in October, oh my gosh, Moonspell, as soon as it drops, I have to have it. She's like, oh, it's really cool. You know, he did the whole thing with Luscious Massacre, and talked about Moonspell. And I was like, you know what? You don't have to take a chance on it. I'm going to get you the Moonspell palette. So I ordered the Moonspell palette. I ordered the lipstick, and something happened in shipping where she received the Strawberry Dream palette instead. So it was just a mistake in shipping. There were 2 labels attached to the box. Emailed Lunar Beauty that day. She called immediately. They were like, oh, okay, no problem. We'll get the order. We'll get the Moonspell palette order ready to go, and we'll ship it out today. And I'm like, I almost thought it was a prank because I'm just not used to customer service happening that fast over email. Normally it's like you get in touch with them and then a day later you're here and then a day later you're back, and then you know what I mean. And I mean, it, like I said, it was like I was emailing somebody that was like just down the hall, and I was like, oh, okay. I said, well, thank you very much. Amazing customer service. The Strawberry Dream palette is still sealed. How should we ship that back? And they were like, oh, you could go ahead and keep it. And I was like, okay, now I know I'm being punked. Because normally, you know, like Morphe, you have to ship that back, and then there's a bunch of rules and whatever. And I'm not trying to down Morphe, and everybody's got their own return policy. But this was amazing. So they let her keep the Strawberry Dreams palette. So she was trying to dip her foot in the pool of Lunar Beauty, and she ended up getting completely soaked. So that was really cool, and that's why this Strawberry Dream palette holds such a great memory for me with her, because here it was, she got to try Strawberry Dreams, I think it was the lippies from Strawberry Dreams, and Moonspell, and it was like birthday present, happy birthday. And that color also I've used for eye topper and corner, you know, a little bit of the corner, like mermaid tears, eye topper and lip topper. It's amazing. I haven't tried it on nails, but I'm fixing to. All right. And the next color that I would include is from another one of my absolute favorite palettes. Just one of my absolute favorite palettes. And there's a good story behind this one too, so I'm going to tell it. It is this color. Stunning, 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 stunning. And it is from Spoiled Cosmetics. If you don't know this brand, get to know this brand. This palette is the Planchette palette from Spoiled Lips Cosmetics. And this is one of my sort of feels palettes. Two things. I'm a huge fan of Robert Welsh. I'm a huge fan of paranormal documentaries, whatever you want to call them, like shows like A Haunting, where they sort of talk about people's experiences. I started doing a segment every Monday called Ghost and Makeup Monday, and it was based on Bailey Sarian's Murder and Makeup Monday. I say based on, in other words, that was his inspiration. So what it is the stories come from his subscribers, and then he reads the stories, and while he's reading the stories, it's their paranormal experiences. While he's reading the stories, he's doing a look, and the look usually has some kind of basis. You know, maybe it's somebody that drowned in a lake, and so that's how his makeup will look, you know. And one day he pulled out this palette, and I'm like, where do I get that? I have to have it. Again, packaging. Packaging will sell me anything. So I saw this and I was like, oh, where do I get that? And I kept rewinding and rewinding, trying to see what the palette was. And I think at some point he does show the front of it. But my Tomas was like, oh, wait a minute, turn the phone sideways. Let me see what that is. Immediately went and found it, bought it before he had the story out. Like literally, that's how fast I had to have it. And this color, this is it's like a red gold. It's a duotone. It is not pressed glitter, although they do have a couple pressed glitters in this palette. This is like this red gold duo, like a duochrome almost, but it's just as if both colors are present at the same time, and you don't need to move to have them shift. And it's amazing. It's amazing, amazing. And would have to have a shade out of this palette to put in my Better Together. So the last shade that I would choose, and this is this is really special to me too. This is another one from Lunar Beauty, and it is from the Life's a Drag palette. Now, anybody who's ever tried to do a really deep corner, right? Anybody that's tried to do that same thing, where you add just a little bit of depth to the corner, just to try to give some more dimension, knows the value of a good black eyeshadow and how hard that is to find. But I have found nothing at all compared to the depth and the coverage of this color right here, which is Shady from the Life's a Drag palette, and that is Lunar Beauty. And I think that any palette that I would create would have to have that really deep, almost Vanta black in it, because there is no end to how I've used that. So there it is. That is my 12 pan palette that I would do. And even though I'm not a fan of swatching, I did this for Mascaras and Mixers. I did swatch the whole thing just to show how my palette would look if I did swatches for everything that's in it. This is basically how my palette would swatch. So thanks very much for hanging out with me and doing this. If you want to see what the other half of that palette would look like, go ahead and head over to Mascaras and Mixers and watch her video. I just love her so much. I miss her to death. We definitely are better together. Thank you very much for hanging out with me this evening. Thanks for looking at all this. This is really fun. If you do this, let us know. I'd love to see what you guys come up with. And I hope you are having a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, a great night, wherever you are. And I will see you in my next one. Bye, y'all. This palette is the, I'm gonna hold it over here. This